Lindsey Graham did not vote for either Trump or Clinton, so he said. We'll just go ahead and report this since we have it here. The Supreme Court hears housing a bias case involving Bank of America and Wells Fargo. The justices signaled they may divide over the ability of cities to use a Fair Housing Act to sue banks for discriminatory practices that contribute to urban blight. The hearing and arguments in Washington as the country went to the polls. Federal appeal court read the Fair Housing Act has given the city of Miami in Florida the right to sue Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup. Said the banks had targeted certain neighborhoods there. Two potential swing votes, Roberts and Kennedy, suggested they saw a need to limit these types of lawsuits as they expected to do. Election day arguments was a relatively low-key affair, with Justice Alito and Thomas asking no questions. Well, they usually don't. Breyer saying less than usual. So, nonetheless, the cities of Baltimore, Memphis, and Tennessee have settled similar claims for less than $10 million. So the case is Bank of America versus Miami and Wells Fargo, etc. here in those two cases. In Nevada, a claim by the Trump people was rejected. I think we already reported that is going on. Election day turnout started early, stays steady as it moved along here. Voters lined up at dawn in various places across Charlotte, North Carolina, and it gives some examples. We won't go into that here. And the polls are open till 7:30. It's about 7:30 Eastern Time. And everyone is in line will be able to vote. And this is in most cases. You do not need an ID to vote in the state of North Carolina. That's one of the things we need to make very clear. Take a good look at the Business Insider here as they roll in so far along there. Just electoral votes, Clinton 319. That would come from Indiana. Here's what you should watch for. This is from the Business Insider. They have a poll that's a very interesting poll. Eastern Indiana and Kentucky. Well, some of the networks have, I guess, solved that problem. At 7 o'clock, several eastern states will start counting their votes. That's Georgia and South Carolina will likely come in for Trump, according to them. Now, I'm not sure about Georgia. Well, South Carolina, I don't think there's any doubt there. Virginia, Hillary Clinton has had a lead there. The big prize, of course, is Florida. Falls in the Eastern Time Zone, most of it, with the exception of the panhandle of Florida. The average there, 2/10. Clinton lead in the state of Florida. Ohio and North Carolina will start counting at 7:30. The polls also close in West Virginia. We'll have polls closing in Connecticut, Delaware, the District of Columbia, Maryland, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, New Jersey, Illinois at 8 o'clock. And some places where Trump is heavily favored, I don't think we'll argue about that. Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, and not as heavy in Missouri, Oklahoma, Central Time, parts of Kansas, and South Dakota. Texas, a large part of the states in the Central Time Zone. I don't know, all Texas. No, I guess it's not. And in Arkansas at 8:30. So basically, you'll start getting these projections in, but it'll be basically about 10 or more 11 o'clock Eastern time that the numbers actually start to count up. It'll probably be after midnight before you actually will get a definitive in, if there is any definitive, but as we look, we'll see more and more of Pennsylvania votes by midnight should be rounded up. At least the projections will be there. And now remember, in some of these very close states, even projections themselves can be some problems. I don't think there's going to be any argument on the vote in the state of Kentucky. Voters' anxiety about Trump, there's no doubt about this. It's Politico. Hillary Clinton is winning the ground game where the nation is on edge, and no doubt about that. We already covered Nevada. Democrats had a 90,000 vote lead in the state of Florida. Well, the Democrats need a 90,000 vote lead in the state of Florida. There's no doubt about that. Exit poll, they want a strong leader. Well, a strong leader is not a schizophrenic leader. I think perhaps there is a difference in those kinds of leaders out there. We'll look at the strong leader as we wind down our broadcast at this time. We'll return periodically in the night and hopefully wind this up. 29% wanted a vision of the future. 16. Oh, wait a minute here. 39% a strong leader. 29% wanted somebody with a vision. 16% wanted someone who cares about people like me. Well, that in itself is interesting. It's twice the percentage who said that they. Let's see. The percentage of voters thus far said they want a strong leader. Characterization of Trump made central is twice the percentage who said they were looking for a strong leader in 2012. 58% of the voters said they wanted to be over. 72% there's anxiety. 71% are nervous. A similar majority described themselves as angry. Half were sad. Oh boy, they were all over the place with their emotional thing. Independents are more depressed than Democrats. 47%, 36% of Democrats, 37% of the Republicans. Yeah. Voters are mixed on the state of the economy. Only 32% said the nation's financial situation is better today than 4 years ago. Fewer than 44% say that it's 44% say that it's worse. 21% say it's about the same. Voters are less negative about their financial future. Usually that's a very good sign. But given this, who literally knows? It's a strange thing to come out there. You talk about a leader, a strong leader, but at the same time, you can get yourself in trouble with the so-called strong leader model when in fact it doesn't come out to be as one would, as it would appear to one. Let me just take one final look at the Washington Post. Indiana takes Indiana the first call state. Exit polling in Virginia. Trump is watching returns from his apartment drinking Diet Coke. Oh boy. Hope it doesn't kill him. The economy dominates the issue. Immigration, large majority of voters. This is in the state of Virginia. Diverse electorate, just over 3 in 10 were non-white in the state of Virginia. 2 in 10 were African American, similar to 4 years ago. Non-whites support the Hillary by 60%. Clinton wins 9 and 10. Well, that was to be expected. Regional analysis there. Clinton's support mirrors the Obama 4 years ago. Well, he needed that to do that. Partisan voting turnouts. In the first election, Democrats outnumbered Republicans opposed in Virginia for the first time. There, the same was true there. In 2012, one difference between the last president and this one, Romney won among Virginia independents, edging President Obama 54 to 43. But preliminary polls suggest Clinton is holding Trump to a draw, which is very good for Clinton. White college graduates appear to shift towards the Democrats this year, dividing evenly between Clinton after favoring Romney by 10 points. This is pretty much over the year. Tom Kean, of course, being there, split the Virginia's electorate, with about half giving him a favorable rating there in the state of Virginia. President Obama's rating is above 50% in Virginia. Divided over farms. Half of the people live in households with guns. So they're not playing Wild Wild West in the state of Virginia, as in some places. This is kind of interesting here. Austin poised to exceed the totals there. This is in Travis County, Texas. 61.5% of registered voters have cast ballots this year, nearly identical to the turnout. It's hot here. Predicting more than 100,000 people will vote before the night's over. This is in Austin, Texas. Mid-afternoon, almost 80,000 had voted, and another 372,000 earlier. This is in Austin, Texas. Very unusual in Austin, Texas. Nonetheless, this will do it for us. We will return periodically. I'm not certain through the night, and generally have a general wrap up later here. This is Boston Red. Have a pleasant evening, and don't worry about the anxiety. No matter who is elected here, well, I say that with qualification, the U.S. will still be here. Now, in what condition it will be in, it's difficult to say. I believe 700 economists to the Wall Street Journal talked about the fallacy, perhaps the flummery, of electing one DJ Trump. We'll leave it at that. We'll also on Numbers Man, one of our program, macroeconomics program, and be heard on and seen on many of our outlets. We'll summarize the economic fallout from this election. Hopefully we'll have that ready Thursday, depending on how the election turns out. Good day.